Hey, what's going on? Today I'm going to be talking about CSRF. Now, CSRF stands for Cross-Site Request Forgery, and to give you an insight, it's in the name. It's a cross-site request. Okay, therefore, say we have a website. In our case, we have this right here, a Portswigger lab, and it has some sort of functionality. Let's say the functionality is updating your email address, okay? And the way that you update your email, you input a new email, you click some button that confirms that action, and it sends it off as a post request or a GET request. Mainly they're post. I have seen a few GETs, but they're normally post, and then your email's updated. Okay, cool. The thing with this is if they don't have any kind of protection against this, someone from a cross-site, say me, can basically make you do that, and I could update your email to my email. So the way that works is we would go into the app and say we click a function that allows us to update, I don't know, an email. We'll just keep it basic, and we see in the request it's a post. We see the post, it's going to /account/email.php, and then we see confirm blah blah blah. So there's going to be two main things. There's going to be an input field with a name, and that name is also going to have a value. That value is going to be the email address. Then there's going to be a button, the action. The action for that would be a submit. So it's submit. And we're submitting that. We're sending it off to the server, and the server's going, okay, this request we made, let's return. That is what an attacker would construct. Okay, he would add them buttons and input fields, and when you click, say, a button called access the lab, that will actually then update your account information, and it's being done from a cross-site request. It isn't from the actual site. It isn't from you. Now, one thing to note, for that attack, you'd have to have the user being authenticated. But there is other kind of attacks where the user don't have to be authenticated. They could. Now, this is mainly a post. Yeah, it's a post, actually, no. So yeah, the user has to be authenticated. Now, to prevent against this, there's something called, well, there's multiple things. I'm not going to say one of them, but you got Csrf tokens, Csrf tokens, you got one other, and then you've got Csrf tokens, stuff like this. Csrf tokens, it's a token, and it gets generated by the server, and it gets given to your account, okay? It's like a cookie. Think of a cookie, okay? Now, if these are misconfigured, we can take advantage of that and remove that security line, and then further on our attack, okay? So here I have a lab. CSRF, where token validation depends on token being present. Now, if you don't understand that, don't worry. So we can log into an account using these credentials. So let's just enter these. So if we accept the request, as you see here, it shows the user agent, and we see something called CSRF. Now, this is our CSRF token, and here's the values. We have username, and we have the value. We have the name, password, and we have the value. Okay, that's what I was on about. So we forward these requests, and we see a GET request to my account. We forward that. We just see another GET request. So we can turn this off. Here we go. So we have an email. So my email is currently your email, wiener@normaluser.net. Let's just try and update that to riot@riot.net. Intercept on. Update. Now let's just send this to repeater. As you see, the name is Riot, so I sent it to repeater so I could go look at this. Here's the value. which we can set to anything, and then we have a Csrf token. Okay. So if we forward this request, turn that off. If I go here, my email's been updated. Okay, cool. Now, if we send this, let me just move this. If we send this, we see 302 found. Okay. What happens if we change the value? Invalid Csrf token. Okay, so that obviously doesn't work. What if there's no value? Missing parameter Csrf. So this is saying that, you know, it's detecting whether or not there's a custom value, it's detecting whether or not there is no value. And what happens if we just do Csrf? It's still a parameter. Okay, so if we make it like this, nothing. So there is, it doesn't say anything regarding that, right? So in this aspect, there's no point them actually having one. No point having a Csrf token. So if we fire up a terminal, let me just zoom this in. If we just nano csrf.html, alright, so we need this information right here. So we need that, we need the host, and we need this. Okay, and if there's more, like if there's submit equals, you can do submission. Now I could waste my time, well, it isn't really wasting my time, it's a challenge, but I could spend my time writing one. You know, it would be something along the lines of input action equals, oh no, not action, it would be method for the post, and then down here there would be input type equals hidden, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know why my things do that. Yeah, they don't, yeah, okay, but it would be input type equals hidden name, and it also would be action. So here we're just gonna copy this. Now I could Google for one of these two, or I could create one. Now you're gonna see what I mean. So we have the method. The method is post. Okay, so if that was get, you'd put get. The action equals the URL, so we're gonna want the host and the bit that it's posted into, which is my account / change email. Then we have the input. The type is hidden, so it won't display. The name is email, so that's the parameter name, and the value is whatever we want. And this just submits the values. Okay, it also submits. So if we do right here post, and right here we put the URL, slash, and then we just copy this bit right here. Now if we just change this to oh god, I need to copy that. But if we just change this to like let's say riseup.net, and we have the parameter value, or name shall I say, that's email. Now if you didn't understand what I was doing a second ago, we seen and Csrf equals, and then we seen a load of values, right? I was basically testing whether or not that Csrf is being misconfigured. So as you see, we had our set and our actually divert. You'll see that we have the actual token. Removing this and adding a custom value says invalid Csrf token, okay? But if you note, when it's correct, it gives us a 302. So we know that this doesn't allow custom Csrf tokens, okay? And so I was just fuzzing whether or not this is vulnerable, removing that missing parameter. What if I move that completely and I see Fury 2? Now I know I can work with this. So once again, we're just gonna copy this. Now in real situations, you would want to host this or do it off your localhost. Just open csrf.html, it'll redirect. And we're just gonna go here, go to the exploit server, just put this here, store, and if we view the exploit, it should update. If we just give it a moment, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what's taking so long. Yeah, that looks fine to me. I'm not sure why this is saying not solved. Alright, I'll be back. Does my OBS want to load? Oh god. Oh god. Okay, give me one sec. Okay. So I was just going through it, didn't copy everything. So first things we need to do, well, the main thing, is add my account / change email. Hopefully now this should work. Did that not work? So here we just have a bit of trial and error. I need to grab my terminal. We don't need that. Form method, let's post, that's correct. Action, that is the URL. My account, change email, input type, hidden, name, email, value. I'll just try at google.com, and then we submit. So I'm not sure if this is broken at the moment or like what's happening, but I'll be back if this works. Alright, so to solve this, weirdly, I did forget this was on my behalf. You have to specify the protocol. Now I did specify HTTP when I paused, but it didn't work and it says not secure, so I didn't know like how's it running HTTPS as the protocol, but I put it in and somehow it works. So if you view the exploit now, as you see, if we go here, right at second google.com, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's how you solve that lab and what Csrf is. Once again, just to give you a run through, you can restart or just listen. In a speedy way of saying this, you make a website. There's a vulnerable website, so you have your domain that's say attackerwebsite.com, and you have the victim's website, which is victim.com. You found a vulnerability in there. I don't know, say they have a Csrf vulnerability in their change email function. You then look for others, maybe a password or whatever. You construct your payload, just how I shown you, what I copied, but I did give you a brief understanding of how you construct it. Once you constructed your payload, you then host it, and then any user that's authenticated on the website that clicks it or clicks a certain button, maybe like submit a blog or something, they will then have their stuff updated. And that's a basic CSRF. So all it is a user has to be authenticated. They make a cross-site request, and then their account gets updated. So there you go. And just to inform you that tokens are most likely not going to be misconfigured on huge websites, but on subdomains they could be, because obviously a lot of the time they just go through subdomains really quickly. So there you go. I've shown you a bit about fuzz and Csrf tokens. I explained Csrf, I've shown you an example, and yeah, we solved this lab together. It's a pretty cool lab. You can check out Portswigger. So yeah, have a good one.